to businesses, one leading to
A very good morning to one and all present over here, all our delegates, our speakers, our moderators, and our dignitaries who have joined us this morning. My name is Lipi Goyal, and I welcome you all to the Vibrant Gujarat Regional Summit in the city of Baroda, the city that celebrates art, legacy, industry, innovation, and so many other things. Thank you once again for being patient with us and joining us to get together over here. Well, today's theme, today's session, as we all know, is about Gift City, the international financial gateway of India that reflects India's bold vision of becoming a leading global financial powerhouse. We have many speakers, we have a panel discussion which will take us through about how the future of gift and Gujarat looks like. With world-class infrastructure, a progressive regulatory ecosystem, and an international outlook, Gift City is creating unprecedented opportunities for businesses, investors, startups, and many financial institutions alike. Well, now that I have invited and welcomed you all over here, I would like to take a moment and invite our Group CEO and MD Shri Sanjay Kaulji to please join us and welcome you all officially.
Good morning and apologies to have kept you waiting. The Honorable Chief Minister is supposed to be joining us and he should be joining midway. So the information that came to us is don't keep people waiting and start the program. We expect him in another half an hour, 45 minutes. It's very encouraging to see that you have turned up in good numbers because the classroom is small. The same number of people are outside the hall, So that's very encouraging for us from the Gift City side. I would want to begin with an honest question. How many businesses in this room have left money on the table, not because the product wasn't good enough, not because the team wasn't capable, but because the financial infrastructure simply wasn't there? Anyone? No. A lot of people are blank. What I said is, anyway, the point is, a number of times when you run businesses, you have opportunities and somehow you let go opportunities not because you do not have the skills, not because you do not have the market for it, but because of financial constraints. Again, financial constraints of cross-border availability of finance. You needed a dollar loan, you went to Singapore. You needed to lease equipment internationally, you structured it through Dubai. You needed a global fund, you set it up at Mauritius. This was the scenario up to some time back. This was why were you doing this? Because you had no choice. But I would say that the era is now over. Gift City is India's only international financial services center. Here is what that means in practice. A lot of you have heard about Gift City, and when I meet people, when I travel, everyone has some idea that there is some place in Gujarat known as Gift City. Not everyone is very clear what it stands for. I'll explain it to you. I'll make an attempt to explain it to you in very simple terms so that you can understand a little bit of what we stand for. Of course, we have a detailed presentation which follows through, which will give you the technicalities. I'll explain it with context to Baroda. A manufacturer in Vadodara can now raise external commercial borrowings directly through a bank in India. When we say external commercial borrowings, of course, when I made the opening statement as businesses, you need money. And if it has to be done overseas, you need it in foreign currency. So ECBs can be raised directly through a bank in India. No foreign subsidiary, no Singapore intermediary. A promoter can list dollar bonds on India Annex and access global investors without leaving Indian jurisdiction. A family business expanding overseas can use gift holding structures with treaty benefits previously available only in overseas financial jurisdictions. A fund manager can raise offshore capital through a Category 3 EIF. Of course, that's a bit technical, but all the same, with pass-through taxation and a regulatory regime benchmarked to Singapore, not adapted from domestic rules. Live, operational, being used today by companies who for too long were told to go elsewhere. Vadodara supplies to the world in chemicals, engineering, pharma, power equipment, etc. But your competitors are raising cheaper capital, hedging risk more efficiently, and reaching investors you haven't accessed yet. Gift City exists to close that gap. I can see quite a number of students here. Now, for you, the most exciting careers in global finance are no longer only in London and Singapore. Now, traditionally, when you talk about finance, you talk about Ivy League colleges. If you have to be in the world of global finance, that's where you would, or your teachers would advise you. That's where the whole action is, be it Singapore, New York, Hong Kong, and of course London. But then you have an opportunity in Gift City also. Over 1,200 entities operate at Gift City today in structured finance, fintech, green finance, and international capital markets. You don't have to choose between a global career and staying close to home. The trade-off no longer exists. You have the same salary levels, which you would have probably got in an overseas jurisdiction doing the same kind of job, but you are at home, you are nearer home. That is what Gift City is for students. Now, how did Gift City actually come into being? That's, I think most of you would know it, but then all the same I would repeat. This is the realization of a dream that belongs to our Honorable Prime Minister Shri Narendra Modi. When he was the Chief Minister of the state, he asked a question no one had seriously asked before. Why should India, a nation that once accounted for a quarter of the world GDP, depend on financial centers abroad? He did not just ask the question, he answered it. Questions are, everyone asks questions. Everyone says this is how it should be. This is where we should, what you say in colloquial language, gyan. But here, he answered the question also, and that is where Gift City owes its genesis. He conceived Gift City, championed it, and as a Prime Minister, made it a national priority under the Viksit Bharat 2047. That's when we have, the centenary of our independence. That's where we're going to. Every transaction that stays within India's jurisdiction, instead of flowing abroad, is a vindication of that vision. It started way back in 2012, is when he was the Chief Minister, and this vision came to him, and we are, I would say, zooming towards it. Our Honorable Chief Minister will be joining us as the program goes, carries that vision forward. Gujarat showed India how to build ports, transport corridors, and manufacturing at scale. It now has the opportunity and the responsibility to show India how to build a world-class financial center worthy of the world's third largest economy. The work is underway, and it will be built through partnerships we have from the Baroda Management Chamber, industry associations basically, and the talent that is there in this room. Gujarat has never waited for someone else to build what it needed. It built ports and roads when it needed connectivity. It built corridors when it needed scale. It built industrial ecosystems when it needed growth. And today, it is building financial infrastructure and doing it on its own terms for the whole nation. Gift City is not a destination. It is a platform for Indian ambition, Indian capital, and Indian talent to engage with the world without leaving home. I invite each one of you who are there in this room to see yourselves as a part of that story. Come to Gift City, explore what it offers, and help us build what India deserves. Before I end my speech, I would especially acknowledge the presence of the Vietnamese delegation. They are from the Vietnam Finance international financial services center, similar to what we are doing in GIFT. They have flown all the way from Vietnam. They came in late last night. We'll be entering into an MOU with them. It'll be a collaboration of mutual learning, and both of us benefit out of it. We'll be signing another 4 MOUs. We have one with SEPT, we have with Tata Communication Services, we have 2 companies. There's one company from Baroda, Collabora, then Finance Sham from Ahmedabad. Am I missing out anyone else? Yes, golf is yes. So these MOUs are not MOUs for the sake of it. All these are operational, all these are which will help GIFT City go towards where it is aspiring to, essentially build our capabilities, build our skill sets, and the exchange of MOUs will happen once the Honorable Chief Minister joins us. And as my colleague Nisarg mentioned, there's the handing over of the letter of allotment for a golf facility which is coming on in GIFT City. It's a golf driving range which we would, it's already the construction has started, or rather going to start, and we formally would hand over the letter of allotment, something which we are, it's not just about financial ecosystem, not about offices and apartments, residential apartments, it's also about social infrastructure that they're developing, and golf is a very significant portion of it, and that's one more thing which we will be exchanging papers on. The program will go on for about an hour and a half. We have the technical presentation, we have a panel discussion. A panel discussion will be interesting because that's where you understand what a financial service center stands for. The guests who have come for the signing of the MOU, please bear with us. You would have to sit for some more time, and since it's a very major MOU, we would ideally want it to happen in the presence of the Honorable Chief Minister, and we expect him to be here by around 12 o'clock. The reason being is he is receiving the Union Home Minister, and his flight is just arrived is what I understand. And once he's through with that, he will join us in the seminar. Thank you, and have an enlightening session. Take back something, and whoever wants to visit GIFT City, all of you are welcome, just to see it, understand, appreciate what is happening. It's something which Gujarat should be proud of, something which the country should be proud of, and we ourselves as a team are very proud of what we are doing. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much for that welcome note, and I hope that everybody is looking forward to visit GIFT City soon in the near future. As we now move ahead, I would like to invite on stage Dr. Mangla Chauhan to please join us, the President at Baroda Management Association. I request her to join and address the audience.
A very good morning. Am I audible? Yeah. A very good morning to all the delegates and dignitaries present here. Maybe better to say a vibrant morning. So welcome on behalf of Baroda Management Association and Vadodara. I welcome all my brother and sister from foreign countries being an investor to invest here in India. Because what India promises, it's the youth just be sitting right behind and the standing all over here. When I just came to know from the GIFT City executives that the session here on the Gujarat Industrial Financial Gateway, that is the GIFT City, what we as a citizen of India can do, the things that the GIFT City, that is a beautiful amalgamation of financial and technology city, the smart city, many more things said about already by the MD sir, Mr. Kaul. Now what I have to see, it's when I'm seeing mostly the youth here, that investors are here, industrialists are here, industry leaders are here, manufacturer, exporter, whosoever. But you, the youth of India, just these baton just be pass on to your hand. So you know why we needed this kind of platform, the vibrant Gujarat. When you just get in a click, via AI, all those things, the data, the facts and figure connected via call to all the official executive dignitaries that just be abroad. Why we need it? Because that only inform you, not aware you. Being informed and being aware are the two different things. Information keep you updated, but awareness keeps you ahead of all the scenario, whatsoever field you have chosen. And you people just not need it. The first thing when you just wish to pursue your vision at a global level, कौन नहीं चाहता गिफ्ट सिटी में ऑफिस होना उनकी कंपनी का इंडस्ट्रियलिस्ट एंड एवरी यूथ must have a vision to have an office in the gift city, to have a global office in each and every country that the delegates come over here. So why not we have such kind of vision? What just stuck us? What just obstruct us? It's not the first thing that is finance. In the upcoming panel discussion, you can listen about the various Standard Charter, SDFC or whatsoever be the bank there, SIDB and all. Banking sector there, financial support there, then what obstruct you? The courage. In our holy epic, Srimad Bhagavad Gita, Shri Krishna, Arjuna having all the things, the king, having the powerful brothers, having the skill, the knowledge, everything. When he just lost his courage, he just be fearful to step ahead to win the war. That time Shri Krishna said to Arjuna, Shri Krishna is a Sarthi that time. And here the gift city, the government of Gujarat, government of India is what is doing exactly to become a Sarthi of you, to drive your growth engine of India. So Shri Krishna said to Arjuna, Sarvorapi gunaryukto nivirya kim karishyati. Sarvorapi gunaryukto nivirya kim karishyati. Guni bhuta guna sarv tishthanti hi parakrame. Arthat, that means that if you have all the quality, you have knowledge, you have finance, you have technology, you have skill, but you don't have a courage to take a first step ahead, then nothing, my dear friends, my brothers and sisters, nothing can work. And only the courage, that same thing said by the Greek philosopher Aristotle, courage is the first of the human quality, rest of the quality is taken care by the courage. So have the courage to think big, have a global vision to move ahead, not just the profit of your company, but contribute to the GDP of the nation at the global level too. There's many more things that you have to pursue. Think big, think ahead of your time. That's what the gift city denote. That's what is for the gift city. As sir requested you to visit gift city, I must say that not only visit, but have a purpose, have a vision with you, that when you visit or connected with the executives or the team of the gift city, keep in that thing in mind that yes, I am here to do something, I have to make a mark. And when the next vibrant come, you just be seated here in front of the rows. That is the vision I have to given to the youth, to all those just be sitting behind. And हमारे यहाँ शास्त्रों में, sir and madam of foreign lands, in our culture, there is a thing that whatsoever be you do with full of courage, full of good intention. And that is why the India is famous for. That is why our culture, in Ramcharitmanas, there is a line that's, Prabhasi nagar kije sab kaja, hirday rakhi kaushalpur raja. Hirday means heart. And whatever you do, the good governance of any time will support you. And that is what is the Baroda Management Association, Gift City, Government of Gujarat and Government of India are doing right now. So here, without taking too much of time of yours, I must halt my words here, but taking the permission of all the dignitaries here, sir, that whenever they visit Gift City, they have a purpose and do support, whether financially, whether technologically, and the hassle-free service that provided by the Gift City. And the investor just be sitting here. This is a platform for investors, for B2B Connect. But that is the platform of your dreams, to have a vibrant dream, a vibrant Gujarat. And from this, Vadodara is the heart of Gujarat. And from the heart of, and Gift City, heart of India in financial and technological way. So I am Dr. Mangla Chauhan, President of Baroda Management Association, here in Vadodara, saying to you that have courage in your heart, pursue a bigger dream, being a global industrialist, global manufacturer, exporter, service sector, or educationist. But think always big. This platform for the big dreams, big vision, big goal. Thank you so much. धन्यवाद. जय हिंद, जय भारत.
Thank you. Thank you so much for those words of encouragement and giving us so much of positivity and energy. Thank you so much. That was Dr. Mangla Chauhan with us over here. And friends, now let's just deep dive more into Gift City and understand a little more about that. I would now request Mr. Nisarg Acharya to please join us, AVP at Gift City, and help us with an overview of Gift City, the ecosystem, and the opportunities.
Very good morning to all of you, and thank you that you have joined on the working day. Also, thank you to all the delegates who have traveled from the abroad and the other cities to witness this Vibrant Gujarat Regional Conference happening in Baroda for the first time. GIFT, you might have heard the name. It's a project of national importance and the kind of activities which are happening there. Right, I'm sure that after this session, the kind of more details which will be given by our GIFT City officials and the panelists, you will go back with a lot of opportunities that in which and how we can enter GIFT City to participate, and you will also go with the pride that this kind of project is happening in India, which makes it a project of national importance. So it's a vision of our Honorable Prime Minister when he was the Chief Minister of the state to create one of the best CBD or the financial centers in India. We were dependent on a lot of other global financial centers, which is predominantly like Singapore, London, New York and all. But the vision will, which is in making, right? It will give you a lot of pride that this kind of platform is created in country and within Gujarat, which is in very nearby to the Baroda as an epicenter. India, everyone is aware about the growth story of India, right? We are one of the fastest growing economy, and the kind of opportunity which India is creating, for the, youth within the country, and the kind of opportunities we are creating for the global, East. These are broad numbers, but I want to highlight one thing is the India will lead the world with the talent. We are 1.4 billion people, and which is our strongest, pillar that we can say. The kind of talented employees and the youth that we are creating, that is making difference for all the industry, whether starting from the manufacturing, engineering, service, whether it's a finance, technology and all, right? We are leading the world by providing right kind of skill set, which will take care of, our future. Advantage Gujarat. Of course, Gujarat is known for, very business-friendly state, starting from government of Gujarat to the business bodies that we have here, right? The kind of coastline, which are the advantages for us, the kind of petrochemical, industry we have, pharma industry we have, right? So engineering industry that we have, and I think Baroda is also one of the biggest center, which and very old, in terms of having this kind of industry here, and the kind of contribution which Gujarat is doing, right? We are one of the top state in terms of the, GDP contribution, right? In terms of the export of the, manufacturing, export of pharma, export of petrochemicals, in terms of the new age financial services that is, getting created within GIFT. So this is the only place in Gujarat which is, adding more value, for the country. Now, GIFT City. GIFT, let's start from the connectivity. So connectivity is the key, whether it's a global connectivity or it's a local connectivity, right? So GIFT being a global financial centers, it is well connected with almost all major cities in the world, Few more direct connectivity has recently been added to Colombo and the Middle East part. So actually, it takes lead in terms of how people can communicate for the business. I will just give you a small example that if you are staying somewhere in the large metro cities of the country, right? It takes 2 hours, 3 hours to go to the airport. Then you come to gift. Then you do your meetings and all, right? And I think you will take one more day to, maybe next day, to reach your place back. Now, just take an example of how you are connected with Dubai. In terms of Dubai also has a financial center, right? You can have a breakfast meeting in Dubai, DIFC. You can have a lunch meeting in Gift. You can go back, for dinner with your family and get a sleep. So this is how the connectivity is going to take place, and it will actually, add how the growth of businesses will happen, specific to the financial services, where the meeting, right kind of, meeting with the right players to break the deals, to raise the capital is very important. About Gift City and IFSC, Gift, one of the main, structure of Gift is a smart city, right? Also, we are a single window in terms of the urban authority. So we are a separate Gift Urban Development Authority for all your building permissions and everything. We are also a notified committee. So all the municipal functions is also taken care by Gift. Second part is the IFSC. Now IFSC, which mentions that the India's only international financial services, is also placed in Gift, which is very unique in terms of their regulatory offering, the kind of businesses which takes place, and the kind of tax benefit and other ecosystem that they are developing. So this is a overall understanding of how Gift City is divided into the business zones, right? So overall Gift City is hardly around 900,000 acres, right? Around 260 acres is the SEZ area, which is also recognized as the International Financial Service Center. So which is an offshore kind of center within Gift. Rest is the domestic area from where you can do all kind of service activity, which is non-regulated, compared to the IFSC zone. Overall master plan is divided into 3 broad areas, being a CBD area. So we have to understand the nature of the city is a central business district, right? So predominantly commercial office space is there, which is around 67%. Around 22% will be residential. Some of the residential we are trying to create, within Gift, and around 11% is the social, right, which includes the school, hospital, clubs, and other recreational facility. So that's how we have planned the Gift City. We are on the bank of the Sabarmati River, right? So the riverfront, if you might have seen Ahmedabad riverfront, that is getting connected up to Gift in the north. So within next 1 or 2 years, that riverfront will be also operational. Gift, the Tri-City word given by our Honorable Prime Minister, that Ahmedabad being a heritage, Gandhinagar being the present administrative city, and Gift being a very futuristic business city. So this makes the right combination of the ecosystem which entire region provides. Right? There are a lot of people come to us that where our people can stay, where is the social life and all. Though within Gift we are creating the residential and social ecosystem, but you need to understand that we are a part of Ahmedabad, Gandhinagar as a broader region, right? So if you say that you need a good cricket stadium, we have a world largest cricket stadium hardly 15 minutes from Gift. So there is no need to create a stadium within Gift, right? So we are part of overall Ahmedabad, Gandhinagar region. We are well connected with the metro connectivity. We have one station already within Gift, which is connected to Ahmedabad, Gandhinagar, and other areas. We are adding more, 2 metro station within Gift, which will go to the northern side. Once the bullet train, everyone is, listening about bullet train, which is under progress right now. So once the bullet train is ready, our metro is connected to the bullet train junction, right? And which is connected to BKC, which is again a domestic financial hub of Bombay. So from Gift to BKC, it will be 2 hours, 15 minutes. So you can just imagine the kind of the overall dynamics which will entirely, change how the business and people will commute. We are very near to the airport, right? We are also on the NH48, which is Bombay-Delhi highway. So in terms of connectivity, we are well connected with all the roads and metro connectivity and also with the airports. Integrated development, so the overall development which I mentioned, which is 67% commercial, residential and social, right? These are the broad, development which is ongoing right now. Around 27, 28 buildings are operational and around 47 buildings are under construction in the planning stage. So within next 3 to 4 years, once you visit, if you have not visited GIFT, you visit right now and you compare after 3 to 4 years, you will see the change in skyline. You will see around 70 plus buildings up and, operational, which will actually, make more comparable with the skyline that we have imagined. Because for us, financial center is having a good skyscraper, right? But we are not only making the, city with the infra, we are also taking the businesses within us and which are growing very fast. The state-of-the-art infrastructure, as we are talking about GIFT being a global financial center, we have to be benchmarked with the other global centers by providing the physical infrastructure at par. So some of the unique infrastructure which has happened for the first time in GIFT is the district cooling system. So here we know that the importance of AC, right? We cannot imagine going outside and in such a humid. But here air conditioner is very normal because the kind of weather we are living. We are having a centralized cooling system where you don't need this kind of outdoor unit hanging outside. So it's a centralized plant we have developed, right? It reduces the overall operational cost by 30 to 40%. So it reduces the overall, OPEX cost. Also, it is a green technology. In terms of ESG norms, which is getting very stricter, most of the global company compliances and Indian company has also started it, right? It helps in getting the right kind of credits, by this cooling system. Second is the utility tunnel. Yeah, we are, very much habituated by, seeing the working progress everywhere because you are digging something every day to put some of the other infrastructure. In GIFT, technically it is a digging free city. So for all the infra, whether it's a cooling system, whether it's a water, whether it's a power, it is going through the underground tunnel, which is hardly around 7 by 8 meter of tunnel that we have created. So for any kind of maintenance or repair, you don't have to dig the city, right? We will get an alert if at all some, leakages is there. Our team will go inside, they will repair and come out. So before the user come to know or, they witness and complain, most of the things get resolved. And very unique waste management system. It's NVAC, it's a Sweden company, they have done it for us. There is no human intervention in waste collection, segregation or transportation. So it is one of the best, the waste mechanism that you might have, seen in the world where you will not see the transport trucks running in the city to collect the garbage. You just have to, throw your waste on your floor in the chutes. It will go in the basement through the jar, the suction will start. We have laid the pipelines up to the plant level. So this kind of infrastructure, which is very, very unique and world class, that we have already developed, and it is there from last 10 years. It is, working very smoothly. Talent nowadays is very mobile, right? So of course, the entire Gujarat talent and the nearby states and all, they come to GIFT for the walking. But this is very focusing on the nearby areas of Ahmedabad, Gandhinagar. The kind of institutes which are present there, right? We are all aware about IIM, IIT Gandhinagar, CEPT and all. But I would also like to add that there are also foreign universities which are coming in GIFT, which I will cover next. So kind of, talent which is getting created in this zone are more compatible for the requirement of GIFT. So the companies who are looking for setting up their operations, they tie up with most of the institutes, they give their own requirement, and that's how the skill is getting created. Whether it's a AI, whether it's a machine learning, whether it's a data analysis, right? This kind of talent is coming up in pool, and that's the reason a lot of global companies are getting attracted and setting up their base in GIFT. This is one of the unique initiative GIFT City has taken with the help of government of Gujarat and Asian Development Bank. We have created two institutions for fintech specific. One is the GIFT IFI, which is GIFT FinTech Institute. that is, supported by Ahmedabad University, IIT Gandhinagar, and University of San Diego. And second part is the plug and play is running the incubator. So now this will be one of the epicenter to give the right kind of innovations and feed to the companies who are, within GIFT. So for example, there are a lot of financial and technology players there. They can give their, problem to this kind of institutes and the incubators, right? The ecosystem will help them to solve the problem, and later on they can acquire those kind of products which has been created there. So in a long term, we see this grow very strongly in terms of fintech, because in India there is no specific fintech innovation and institute that has been created with so much of intense institutions that are running that. IFSC, GIFT IFSC. So India's only and first international financial service center. This place is very unique, and you can say it's a heart of GIFT, because it provides very unique combination of regulatory mechanism we have, the kind of taxation we have, the kind of ease of doing business, and the approval mechanism that we have. It makes more competitive for us, because the cost of operations and other talent is lower compared to the other centers, and we are offshore within onshore. So the kind of businesses that India were losing to other centers, because we did not have this kind of platform earlier, whether it's a bank or whether it's a capital market or the insurance, through GIFT we are trying to facilitate and bring those businesses back, and we will be more efficient in terms of providing the right kind of services, not only to the Indian players, also to the global players. These are the broad comparison on few parameters, whether we talk about the FEMA, law, tax, and currency, right? You can see that GIFT IFSC is almost at par with the foreign jurisdiction in terms of all this 4 parameters. For the law, we are in process of creating an arbitration center, within GIFT, International Arbitration Center. So I think that will happen very shortly. But broadly, we fall, at par with the other foreign centers. These are the broad activities which is notified under the IFSC Authority Act, which was created. You can see the banking, which is a traditional stuff, banking, capital market, insurance, reinsurance. Some of the new and emerging businesses like aircraft leasing, ship leasing, foreign universities, right? They are also adding up. Also, some of the new structures are also getting absorbed in the IFSC, like TechFin, then the professional services that you provide under the BATF. So there is an opportunity for all of you, whether you are an institution or whether you are an individual. These are some of the big numbers we have achieved in last 4-5 years only. So you can see the banking, asset size around 110 plus. We have 130 billion of the capital international exchanges. So this is the testimonial of how businesses are happening in GIFT. So it's not only about the making the buildings and infra, right? We have the right players and the right businesses which are running there, right? And I think most of the Indian, players, which are the Indian banks and other insurance companies, they are trying to concentrate their foreign business from GIFT. So that is actually making them more competitive when they globally, because the kind of cost saving they are doing here, talent and other infrastructure costs, they are getting more benefit in terms of they compete with the other global players in the global market. Banking, we have around 38 banks, which is including almost all big foreign banks are having their presence. So here again the opportunity is there for the corporate and individual both, right? So for the corporate, you can have a trade finance, you can do the ECBs and all. There is also a benefit and advantage for the individuals. So under the LRS, you might be aware that under LRS $250,000, you can invest abroad with an automatic route without any approvals. So bank is also one of the vehicle which can be used for individual LRS usage. Fund industry, you can see the the hockey stick effect. It's suddenly it has increased in last 1 or 2 years. The kind of momentum that we have received in fund right, is amazing. The funds, mainly India-centric fund, which was having their presence from Singapore, Mauritius, right? They are coming back to India, having this offshore kind of arrangement, and they are increasingly uses this kind of instrument, whether it's a category 1, 2, 3. We also have a sovereign funds of lot of governments which are operational in this zone. Capital market, so we have two international exchanges already operating there. One is the subsidiary of NSC, one is the subsidiary of BSC. We also have their clearing corporations there, and also the depository. So this again adds to the opportunity for the individuals and the corporates to access the global market, right, sitting here. One of the very successful product that you might have heard earlier was SGX Nifty, right, which was a Nifty traded there in Singapore. Now, that product, we got it back because it was an NSC product, and it is now named as a Gift Nifty. So it's a very proud moment for all of us that, this Gift Nifty is happening within IFSC, and the kind of volumes, it's amazing, right? So that kind of product is available here, which any institution or the retail, investor can use it. Foreign university, so again, GIFT started with one of the only zone which allows the foreign institution or the university to set up their base here. So we have three, universities. One is Deakin and Wollongong from Australia. Then Queen's Belfast is from, UK. These are the universities which are QS 500 ranked, right? So we don't allow any foreign university to set up their base here. There is a cutoff of QS 500, so only the premium, university in terms of ranking, they can come here. The objective is to get the right kind of talent and the skill set to be created within GIFT, which normally is the requirement of the global institution operating from Singapore, Dubai, and other centers. Right? There are a few more universities which are under our discussion, so we'll be adding a few more, and which will again create a lot of talent pool for the people and the companies which are set up there. GCC, everyone is aware about the GCC boom in the country, right? So again, GCC has a very important role in GIFT because there is a special provision within the IFSC that BFSI player or the GCC can have the benefit within IFSC. So that is an added advantage for the GCC players. We have one of the largest GCC of Bank of America operating there with more than around 3,000 people from last 5 years, and I think they are doing well and they are looking for growth within the city. TechFin, ancillary and accounts. So again, very unique model apart from our traditional financial services, right? So if you are a technology company and doing or serving your financial client, you will qualify under the IFSC, right? So it's not only about core finance, it is also about the technology which financial services are using. So there is an opportunity under TechFin. We have a lot of big companies like Cognizant, Wipro, Infosys. They are having their base there, who are serving their BFSI clients from GIFT and taking all the advantage. Ancillary and accounting services, again, global accounting is services is booming here. In Gujarat also have a lot of accounting firms taking care of the Australia and UK and US market, right? So that is also recognized under the IFSC Act authority. Then they are able to get all the tax benefit and the kind of talent which Gujarat already have. We have one of the largest producing chartered accountants and the commerce graduates in the state. So this kind of services plays a very important role when it talks about getting the right talent. Tax benefit, everyone's important. Zero tax for 20 years out of 25, right? There is no indirect tax. The kind of GCC ITS policy which state government also provides in terms of capex and opex both. So again, it's a having a 30-40% reduction in overall investment. Also other incentives, if you are a the broking company or doing your own proprietary, then within domestic area also you are getting a STT benefit. So that is the reason few international firms like Tower Research and Jump Trading are having their trading offices within GIFT. Domestic area, so apart from the IFSC, The large part is the domestic area. Now, why people should understand DTA also is, apart from the tax incentive, there are a lot of things which is required by the company, which is the right good infrastructure, the quality of life, right? The cost of living. So when we compare this, strong USPs of GIFT with other centers, right? GIFT fits the best, and that is the reason we have all the big companies in DTA like Google, IBM, Accenture. We have a lot of GCCs, including Technip, which is a French oil and gas. We have Infineon, it's a German semiconductor player. So DTA is also one of the important, area within GIFT which supports the technology in the financial services. Bank of Baroda again have a large share services, set up there in GIFT. Broad value proposition of GIFT, of course, the regulatory mechanism that the FSC has, the kind of tax benefit that we have, the cost advantage. Cost advantage, it's not only in terms of the infrastructure and your rental operational cost, but also for the talent. So if you compare the talent cost with the other cities, in most of the large tier 1 cities, the talent cost in the GCC have crossed 75% of their overall books. Right here, the talent is more competitive because cost of living is easy. They want to stay nearby their home, right? They are more inclined to work in this kind of centers, which we call as a regional tier 2 centers like GIFT. Infrastructure is amazing. It's a futuristic city which is coming up. The new development is coming, which I mentioned, the high-speed rail, the riverfront that is getting created. Commonwealth is coming in Ahmedabad, so that will add a lot of recreational area and sporting area within GIFT, nearby ecosystem. And the overall support from GIFT, being a single window mechanism, whether it's a maintaining the city, whether it's a day-to-day infrastructure support, or the regulatory, it's a single window mechanism which we have implemented, which makes the overall life easy for the for the companies and the people who are staying there. The hardware part and the software part we have taken care of. Broad understanding of under which vertical, which are the big companies. Of course we are not able to put all the companies because it's more than 1500 now, but this will give you a broad understanding that each and every vertical have a big name. So this is a testimonial of how GIFT is growing, and how people are having the confidence in increasing their projects here. There are few companies who are adding more employees and business to GIFT because the kind of businesses they are able to get within this particular site. This is a QR code you can take for for more details. And thank you so much. And we all welcome you to visit GIFT to understand more. And our team will be here after the session also if you want to discuss anything. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Mr. Nisarg, for sharing us an overview of GIFT City, the various opportunities, as well as the companies that are already existing and doing so well. Now we deep dive into a panel discussion. We have our moderator and our speakers from distinguished backgrounds. They are leaders in their own domain, diverging from banking to international exchanges, investment funds, and regulatory institutions. I would like to begin by inviting our moderator. I welcome Srimati Ketki Gaur to please join us over here and take forward with the proceedings. We also have our panelists coming up. We have Sri Satyanarayan Patrajit from Bank of Baroda, along with Sri V. Bala, International Exchange, and Sri Ashutosh Sharma, IFSCA. We have our panelist and our moderator joining us on the stage now.
I think while we are we audible? I think while we wait for the moderator, allow us to introduce ourselves. I'm Ashutosh Sharma. I'm Chief General Manager, and I steer the development of financial markets in IFSCA. And IFSCA is the unified regulator of Gift City.
So good afternoon, everyone. My name is V. Balasubramaniam or Bala. I'm the MD and CEO of NSE International Exchange, the leading exchange in Gift City. We are a wholly owned subsidiary of National Stock Exchange of India,
Check.
which is also one of the largest exchanges in Asia and globally the largest exchange in derivatives. And we actually trade the Gift Nifty product, which Nizar did talk about. So we actually are trading almost on a daily basis, close to about $20 to $22 billion of trades. And this is primarily an offshore market. And apart from that, we also do a lot of other activities, including fundraising for Indian companies, which actually Mr. Sanjay Kaul talked about. The ECB, so Indian corporates, Indian issuers, including MSMEs, can raise foreign capital from the exchange. So this is again another opportunity with us. In terms of my background, I have experience of almost 35 plus years. I was also part of the founding team which set up the NSE in India. So been in capital markets throughout. So happy to be here in vibrant Gujarat. And thanks to Government of Gujarat and thanks to the Gift City. Thank you.
So, continuing the trend, good morning everyone. It is heartening to see such a large gathering over here. My name is Satyanarayan Patra. I am General Manager and Head of Bank of Baroda Gift City unit, like IFSC banking unit. So as you know from the presentation given, like banking has been one of the most promising segment for business development in the gift ecosystem. And as a bank, Bank of Baroda has been fully committed, and we are operating in the IFSC ecosystem since inception of the Gift City. Like we are there since 2017. Thank you very much.
We can introduce you also. You are the moderator.
Thanks, and sorry for the delayed entry. But thanks for the introduction as well. And I would also say a special thanks to GIFT and IFSCA for having created such a wonderful platform for India. So what is GIFT? GIFT is our own response to onshoring the offshore for all our businesses which move offshore to find a space to do their dollar business or foreign currency business. GIFT is a response to all of this. GIFT has, over the period, while envisaged in 2015, it has taken up pace since 2020-21, when IFSCA was established as the unified regulator for GIFT. And it's since then that we've seen great traction in GIFT. Today we have 1,200 plus entities in GIFT. We have, I think our banking transactions are more than 111 billion on a monthly basis. The exchange numbers are more than 100 billion on a monthly basis. So the ship has already sailed, and it's about when and at what port does each one of us jump in. Moving to a panel discussion, I think I'll ask maybe Ashutosh ji first you. You've been one of the founding members of IFSCA as a team. So it's been more than 5 years since we've started this journey. What have you seen develop in the last 5 years, and what do you expect to have in the coming 5 years? What is our expectation out of IFSC?
Thanks, Ketki. Yeah, for me, I think I completed almost 6 years now. I joined before IFSC got the regulator license, but I'll give you some perspective. I think when you think of financial center, typically we think of core pillars. Core pillars comes as banking, insurance, capital market. And that's what we focused on. So we first attacked the banking part. Now we have 38 banks, and that part is growing. We have a lot of gravity pull into that sector. And next was our capital market, where we have seen the exchanges, but we have also seen the funds. What GIFT is trying to achieve is we are trying to become the singular priority gateway for India for flow of investments and funds, both in as well as out. So we want to be two-way gateway for India. But in my mind, whenever I speak, I say that while we are keeping India as a priority and we are manufacturing for India, but with the ambition that it should service the world. And that's the design of GIFT IFSC. That's how we are designing our regulations. While we got the banking ecosystem first, and then the fund ecosystem, as Nisarg mentioned about the hockey stick, and we have now 370 funds, the likes of ADIA, the likes of Morgan Stanley, they have established their funds here, which is kind of emphasized that, okay, jurisdiction is safe, predictable regime. But I think what we are looking at, we are looking beyond that. First was look at the investment, and I think we are working on that anyways. But if you look at some of the ecosystem which become again inherent to India, is that like many other South Asian nations, India is one of the largest recipient of inward remittances. And these remittances right now in the tunes of 135 billion. And outward remittance $28-30 billion. We're talking about $160 billion of these remittances. And when think of impact of these, all the exporters and importers in Baroda also, they see that even the fractional and smaller payments of these transactions, they hit cost of around 5-6%. I think if we have to make Indian exports very competitive, we need to solve that piece. So we are looking at removing those friction. So whatever, then incrementally, we are seeing what are different places in India and what are different places which are required for India to move, because we always say that we want to become a developed nation by 2047. What does it need? It requires all the engines to fire. And one of the engines to fire, for example, India cannot move without the logistics part. And when we think of logistics, we are looking at the aviation space. And within the aviation space today, the largest order book globally of the aircraft is from India. But 90% of aircraft are on rent. We want to become a country of ownership. We want to shift that trend. We want to bring it back into India. Our airline should own it. Otherwise, Indian ecosystem should own it. We should have those lessors coming out of India, or global lessors to establish into India in GIFT IFSC. So we are looking in that ecosystem. We already have almost 400 aviation assets leased from here, almost 293 aircraft leased from here. So that ecosystem is developing fast. Second, sitting in the Gujarat, I think we sort of the largest coastline state in India. And we are talking about, if you think of some numbers here, that again, when we say that we want to grow the exports also, but 95% of India's exports are happening on foreign-owned ships. They're not happening on Indian-owned ships. We are paying on the rental of $85 billion annually. When we talk about the pressure on rupee, we always talk about the oil, but oil bill is around $190 billion. The shipping bill is around $85 billion. This is unseen. This is hidden. We need to bring it back into India, and that's part we are trying to solve. We want to again make India right now owns less than 1% of ships globally. And this is not typical financial center ecosystem, but as I said that we are manufacturing for India, we are creating the platform for India. We are trying to say that can Indian ship owners go global? Can we become globally competitive companies and stand against in opposition to MSCs and CME of the world from India? Then GIFT FSC is working on those. We are trying to make ship ownership, ship leasing, ship financing ecosystem possible in GIFT City right now. We have done almost 37 companies in aviation and 37 in shipping. They are already in GIFT IFSC, and they are doing this leasing ecosystem, and we have tapped this opportunity. But I think, again, because we are in Baroda, this is a state where, or city where you have a lot of importer and exporter. And that's one piece that we are trying to solve for right now. And in time to come, I think we are going to focus a lot on that piece. SME financing, because India's exports are driven by SMEs, and we are trying to find out how to pull out all the friction parts, how to solve for the SME financing. We have got a trade finance platforms in GIFT IFSC, like you must have heard of TRADS platform in domestic India for doing the bill financing, bill discounting within India. Now we are talking about cross-border, first ever regulatory regime, which is and this is not platform only for India. This platform can solve for the world again. And we are seeing some transactions picking on this. Global investors can come into those. I think just to begin with, I'll leave you with this.
Sure. So just re-emphasizing the PM's view of making a truly independent India and onshoring the offshore. If we were to only bring back our own orders on the aircraft, that itself will keep this aviation hub going. and the phase 2 could probably have global aviation centers also merging into GIFT. Same thing on the ship side, and I think same thing on the trade finance side as well, in terms of trying to see how we facilitate Indian exporters out of our global financial center. One of the key circulars from RBI as well supporting this cause, where it permits EEFC accounts for Indian exporters in GIFT to be for 3 months, as opposed to it being 1 month for other overseas jurisdictions. So, Mr. Patra, moving to you, what is the X factor that drove Bank of Baroda to set up in GIFT? You already have other international presence, right? Why GIFT, and what was the whole objective? Have you met that? Where do you see this taking forward?
Okay. So thank you, GIFT City, for organizing this event and inviting us once more. As the name suggests, Bank of Baroda, it is an organization which has an origin from Baroda itself. We are so proud to be founded by our Sir Maharaja Sayariji Gaikwad, the princely state of Baroda, 118 years back. It was in 1908 that Bank of Baroda was founded by the visionary leader that time. So, as a Gujarati bank, we feel that it is our moral responsibility that whenever any new initiative taken by the Government of India or Government of Gujarat, that we need to participate. And it is that at that juncture that when GIFT City was conceptualized and we are given an opportunity, we found that yes, this is the place for us to do all our businesses over there. You all may be also aware that Bank of Baroda is also known as India's international bank. There is a reason why it is called like that. So going by our roots and the journey so far, as you all may be knowing, many people are here in the local community also. Gujaratis per se, they are mostly tribe community, like they are trading community. For the sake of business, they keep on traveling all across the world. And as a Gujarati bank, following their footprints, we have been traveling them, and we are in international operations since 1953. It's almost like 73 years we have completed our international journey. So as a bank, while we already have an experience of doing the international banking business from outside India, but when GIFT came over here, I think that gave us the opportunity to scale up the business, and not only in a cost-efficient manner, but also leveraging the talent pool that we have, leveraging the flexible guidelines that IFSCA and GIFT set up. See, from a banking perspective, if you want to evaluate, today they are allowing us 20 tax-free years out of 25 years of operation. So that is a huge tax advantage for any banking entity operating from GIFT City. Secondly, the cost of operations. Suppose if you are an Indian importer or Indian businessman, if you plan to avail any foreign forex denominated loans, ECB loan or the trade finance, earlier we all used to travel all the way up to foreign places like Singapore, London, New York. And availing any kind of banking facility from that center, it is highly costly. So now that everything is available in GIFT itself, so that is a huge cost advantage to the Indian businessman as well. Just to give you a perspective about the journey and the scale that as a bank we have been able to achieve in the last particularly 5-6 years since IFSA came into existence. So today, as a banking entity, we are managing total assets of and liability put together of $15 billion. So if I can tell you in the INR side conversion rate, it will be more than 1,25,000 crore. So that is the amount of business as a branch of Bank of Baroda we have been able to do in the last 5 years' time. So that is the opportunity that GIFT is providing to us. That is the opportunity GIFT is making available not only to the banking community, but also to the business community at large to manage the business in a very cost-efficient manner and in a very, there is no much OPEX. You are not required to travel abroad. Everything is available here. If you need to set up a meeting with any bank, it is so easy. Like as somebody was telling earlier, it is very easy to travel from Bombay, Delhi or any other business center of this India. So as a bank, we have been very active in doing all this type of business in the last 5 to 7 years' time. and we are one of the leading bank in GIFT ecosystem. So if you say me, Ketki, I think as a bank, our journey so far has been highly fulfilling, and we are very happy to be part of this GIFT journey and development.
Thanks. That's really heartening to know that while the tax benefits have been a driver, they are still only an enabler to a very larger regulatory regime that serves the purpose of onshoring again the offshore, where you're able to economize many of those services which were otherwise quite expensive and not accessible to many of your NRI clients as well. So Bala, Nifty was always ours. And very clearly with setting up NSE IFSC, we claimed it and we've had it back. But I think essential for us to tell the rest of the NSE IFSC story, because it's not just limited to Nifty. Of course, Nifty does great volumes, and Nifty coming back to India is a great win. But also in terms of the bonds, there are so many bonds which are listing. You guys are working towards a climate exchange. There's been an attempt to do a direct listing, and there's actually now you have a Cyprus company which is listed on the exchange. I think good to tell the audience a quick recap of the NSE IFSC story till now and what more we are working towards.
Thanks, Ketki. So before I start, I will just add one comment on GIFT City. In fact, in India, the liberalization or financial liberalization started in 91, which most Indians are aware, and that changed the socialistic perspective with which we used to work before that. I will say after that reform, the most important reform came when GIFT City was set up as the first international and probably the maiden international financial center. Why it is very important and monumental is that this actually, for the first time, breaks the non-convertibility of capital story from India. So always Indian capital was confined in India, it could not go out. And foreign capital, which was allowed in 91, was also restricted to certain sectors. And effectively, GIFT actually has now virtually broken that entire wall. And effectively now we have got our own financial center, which is an international zone. So that is the first basic precedent I want to talk about. But having said that, what is GIFT going to create? GIFT has a very huge advantage, just like how Hong Kong was used by China. In 1997, the Hong Kong was ceded by UK back to the Chinese. And post that, the Chinese actually used it as a very large international financial center and raised a lot of funds. And today, if you look at it, the last 25 odd years, most of the Chinese companies went to Hong Kong, raised money from foreign investors, and today they are all global multinational translational companies, and today they dominate the world space in a large way. I think that is something which can get repeated through GIFT City, through NSE International Exchange, and that is exactly the journey which we want to really do. As she rightly said, GIFT Nifty was probably our first touch project in terms of onshoring the offshore. So obviously we wanted to be a price setter rather than a price follower, which is what our Prime Minister, when he inaugurated our exchange, said that this should be a target. But the second target which set for us was in 10 years, we should become a very large finance raising kind of center, and not only enable companies from India, but also from Asia, Europe, and Africa to actually raise money. And I think this year has been very monumental because we got two Sri Lankan companies to raise green bond as well as blue bond through the GIFT City with the listing. So that was our first international issuance on the debt side. And we also got Elena's Finance, which is the largest NBFC in Cyprus, which became our first foreign listing. And this is where the journey has just started beginning. And as we look at it, there are a lot of moving pieces. In fact, there are a lot of Indian companies which also are looking at listing in the GIFT City in our NSE IX and raise international capital. The advantage is that today international investors have a lot of interest in India, but then when they want to invest in India, they have to also take the exchange rate risk. They have to actually convert their foreign currency into rupee. And that actually means they are not playing on the equity capital of the company, but they're also playing on the exchange rate risk also kind of automatically comes through. So what now could happen is that if we are going to get these companies to raise money in international currency, say in US dollars, in NSE IX, then obviously the companies can get a direct equity exposure, which is something where I think there is phenomenal kind of demand. And today, if we talk about it, since if I compare with my mainland, which is NSE, which is my parent exchange, roughly today the market capitalization is about $4.5 trillion, which is a little more than the size of the GDP of the country. Now we are seeing every year close to about $500-600 billion of new issues coming into India, which actually is kind of making the market cap even go higher. And I think many of these stories would probably have close to about 30-40% of the money being raised through foreign investors. And that is something which I think Gift City could truly actually fill that hole. And we think that a lot of companies could do that. And incidentally, I'm also part of multiple committees which IFSCA has created and also with SEBI. So we have got a joint working group for implementing dual listing of Indian companies. So there are already this $4.3 trillion of companies which are listed in India. They can actually also look at a dual listing into NSE IX as well as continue to stay trading in NSE. And this will basically create two markets where international set of investors who want to trade on the dollar side could come and trade on the Gift City. And those who want to trade on the domestic side could do it. And at the same time, there is also fungibility which is being provided, wherein in case if the company doesn't find enough liquidity on a particular zone, they can definitely go to the other zone and can liquidate the positions. So that is, I think, a best win-win kind of story. And this is something which is a story which is about to unfold. And lastly, Ketki, from an NSE perspective, I think we have invested, we are probably the largest investor in Gift City. When the Prime Minister invited us as a market infrastructure institution to build the exchange, build the clearing corporation, build the depository, I think we have invested close to about more than about $150-200 million into this infrastructure. And today we have a world-class technology. Today on the Gift Nifty alone, we trade 22 hours non-stop market. And I think very soon we'll be trading 23.5 hours. We have a capability to trade non-stop. And the reason is that we want to cater to international investors right from Japan all the way to US West Coast. So effectively, we want to make sure that all international investors can access the market. And every day we trade close to about 50 million to 60 million orders come into our exchange every day. And our peak trading volume, we just hit the number last week, which was almost about $23 billion on a single day trading. So that basically shows that the exchange ecosystem is growing very, very fast. We also have a very large member community. We have got 90 odd brokers. Every month, I'm adding 3 or 4 brokers. In fact, there are a lot of international brokers who also started coming in. So you're going to see the Gift City story and especially the capital market ecosystem really keep multiplying. And on the debt side, we have already enabled fundraising of close to about $75+ billion. And in fact, if you look at all the large banks in India, including Bank of Baroda, all of them are raising bonds on our platform. And these are also, some of these are also ESG labeled funds. So sustainable finance is another focus area for us. In fact, in terms of the sustainable listing, we are close to about $16 to $17 billion of listing. And compared to India, we are already 3.5x of that. Even on the Nifty, just to give you a number, we trade almost 2.5x of India every day. And we also have open interest of close to 4x of India. So that shows that Gift City's capital market ecosystem has truly arrived.
Thanks. So you ensure that Gift does not sleep. From 22, we'll go to 23.5 hours. I guess the balance half an hour you'd probably need for some technical updates. But I think a very key point to bring in.
So Ketki, the half an hour gap is primarily a blackout period. That is one period where the world sleeps actually. So before Japan opens and San Francisco closes, there is a half an hour gap.
Yeah, you wish there were 25 hours in a day, but right. So one of the key things on the Forex risk, which is why we created IFSC to ensure that people could do their foreign currency business without having to worry about the foreign exchange risk. Because all businesses in IFSC, on account of the legal fiction created, where all entities in IFSC are considered non-resident, the transactions in IFSC are conducted only in freely convertible foreign currencies. And the regulator has kindly identified 15 of such currencies which can be used, which include all the most popular currencies which are used, including USD, AUD, CAD, SGD, right? And on. So, Mr. Patra, tell us what are the products that you would be able to offer to, let's say, Baroda and the central Gujarat, which is say more popular for manufacturing, engineering, chemicals, services. What do you think is in GIFT IFSC to provide for the central Gujarat and Baroda um, community?
See, Baroda, ideally located at the center of Gujarat, already lot of communities or lot of business entities, they are doing business in INR as well as in ECB also, like in the foreign currency. So we have already so many clients from Baroda who are dealing with us. So the kind of product that we are offering them and people are availing is, if you have a capex, if you have any general corporate purpose, then ECB facility is available. It is in the long-term loan. But if you are also a kind of trader or doing some amount of import business, then definitely whatever LC and SBLC in the foreign currency denominated currency you are opening over here, we are getting it discounted in GIFT City, IFSC ecosystem. So in Bank of Baroda, we have a trade portfolio of almost $1.5 billion, which is getting churned every quarter. So there are more than 900 customers, and many of them would be from the vicinity of Baroda, Ahmedabad and Surat area, who are availing this facility. So, and depending on your country of import, we are providing the facility in the different currency also. Even though 15 currencies are permitted by our regulator, as on date, there are at least 5 to 6 active currency wherein our balance sheet is already built up. There are people trading in dirham, in euro, GBP, Australian dollar, and US dollar is our base currency, of course. But the most important thing, what I can suggest from GIFT City that can be leveraged is, as a community in GIFT City, we have the ability to structure the large-scale funding requirement. So if you are a company set up in, say, Baroda, and there is a need of, say, 500 million, $300 million of single ticket loan exposure, banks in GIFT City have the ability and the appetite to underwrite that check single-handedly. And going forward, we also have the process, we are developing that, positioning GIFT City as the origination and distribution center. So you are that way indirectly accessing the overseas market also. Like suppose today I am underwriting the syndication loan of 500 million. Tomorrow I can launch that syndication in overseas market like Taiwan, Singapore and Middle East area, and we can access that liquidity from those market as well. So GIFT is the platform through which the industrialist and the businessmen in this part of the world, they can access the global market. So in the asset side, if you have a requirement in the trade finance, we have it. If you have a need of like ECB, we have it. If you also have any kind of like treasury product to be structured, suppose your income is coming in, say, X currency, dollar, but you have a payment to make in euro, then that currency swap facility also is made available. And Bank of Baroda is also very active in giving that currency swap facility from GIFT ecosystem. And similarly, in the liability side also, if you must be aware of right now, the FCNR B scheme is available, that is available by RBI and government. So that gives an opportunity for the NRI community to leverage their excess liquidity. So that is another area to build up your portfolio, take the arbitrage advantage, and then definitely you end up earning a higher amount. So both side, in the asset side as well as in the liability side, as well as in the off balance sheet item also, if you have any kind of foreign currency denominated requirement, banking requirement, there are products available from the GIFT City, and BOB is also offering all those products.
So that's a great integration of trade, forex, and treasury in one ecosystem. And that's how GIFT is actually moving from just being a concept or a policy advocacy to an actual financial global hub for Indians to do their business on. And coming on treasury, Ashutoshji, if you could give us a few success stories of where some of these businesses in Baroda could look at say a treasury center. We also have, say, a MasterCard GCC here. So maybe a MasterCard, maybe GCC is how they're benefiting out of GIFT. I would say BATIF, because we've so many advisors around here. What is it that the community at Baroda, Central Gujarat should look up to looking at GIFT?
थैंक यू। आई थिंक व्हेन पात्रा जी वाज रिस्पॉन्डिंग थोड़ा क्रॉस डिस्कशन था, आपने शायद ठीक से सुना नहीं, बिकॉज बड़ौदा में क्या है कि हर घर में एनआरआई है। सो आई सजेस्ट आप दोबारा से सुने एक बात को कि गवर्नमेंट ने FCNRB का एक पॉलिसी लाए हैं, एंड दिस पॉलिसी इज़ वेरी वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट बिकॉज RBI इज़ कवरिंग द स्वैप कॉस्ट। व्हाट इट मीन्स, जैसे आपके जितने भाई बंधु बाहर बैठे हुए NRIs, वो NRIs बहुत हाई इंटरेस्ट रेट पे 6 to 7% इंटरेस्ट रेट बैंक्स ऑफर कर रहे हैं। यू कैन प्लेस डॉलर डिपॉजिट्स। सो आप घर जाके पहले अपने जितने NRI सर्कल है, you spread that word and get the funds in. This is a good lock-in fixed income product for long term, medium term, and you are directly beneficiary of those. Coming to this treasury center, see अभी क्या कि यहाँ gift city, before gift city came in, अभी corporate how used to work. Although corporates in India, they used to go for borrowing loan outside to Singapore, Hong Kong, Dubai. Abhi all the banks are in GIFT. So corporates are borrowing from GIFT. And what Bala has confirmed is that they have all the listing product. Earlier, all the companies were listing their bonds in Singapore or Luxembourg or Japanese exchanges. अब वहाँ करने की ज़रूरत नहीं, because low cost, if they list the bonds in IFSC exchange, cost is lower. As we speak right now, and GIFT City IFSC came in 2020 to now, इंडिया का जितना एक्सटर्नल कमर्शियल बोरोइंग है, यानी कि जितना फॉरेन करेंसी लोन इंडिया लेता है, 60 to 70% of debt pan India level is happening through GIFT. It's a big transformation. Why? Because it's cost competitive. But it's not only about raising foreign currency funds into India. It's also about making Indian companies more competitive, Indian exporters more competitive, Indian MNCs more competitive. So what options do exist there is that पहले some jurisdiction like Netherlands, Singapore, they have a very good holding company jurisdictions. जैसे वहाँ पे टैक्स नहीं लगता, due to which even Indian PSUs, Indian private companies, they establish their treasury centers there. ऐसे ही some countries like Dubai and etc., they used to have a low taxation regime, so Indian companies were setting up companies there for trading. What we are looking at is, if you want to set up a treasury center, and treasury center क्या करता है, वो आपके group companies के लिए centralize करता है borrowings को, cash flow netting करता है, they can also do the lending in the group companies. ये सारे businesses are now possible in GIFT City, in the treasury center structures. So if you look at Indian PSUs, we used to go to Europe earlier, IOCL, OVL, they have already set up their treasury centers there. आपका गुजरात का ग्रुप अदानी, they have also set up a treasury center there. UK firm like ArcelorMittal, the steel company, they have set up the treasury centers there. And this treasury center is actually going to generate a lot of, they have already raised more than $5 billion. This is in last 2.5 years. That's the outstanding credit for these treasury centers there. So treasury center ecosystem is growing very fast. But I think where the talent in Baroda may also benefit is that, which Ketki mentioned about MasterCard, Visa, but similarly we have Bank of America, which Nisarg also talked about. What we are looking at is, एक होता है city, एक होता है financial center. Now what we are trying to develop, we are trying to merge the city and financial center. It's a financial center in the city itself. The city cannot be developed without the talent, without the jobs, without supporting the family. And that ecosystems come by the tech services. What we have brought out 3 verticals where a lot of job opportunities are happening in GIFT City. One is certainly GCCs, where Bank of America has come and they have set up 2,400, 2,500 employees. And Nisar talked about Technip and other companies which are on the domestic side. The GCC ecosystem is working out. And I think some policies of Gujarat government are also supplementing that. You have tax holiday, Gujarat government policies are also there. So it's become very, very competitive because no state offers the kind of policies that Gujarat government is providing on the GCC side. And on top of it, you have a benefit of tax holiday by central government. Become very competitive. But this GCC, now we are supplementing along with the tech ecosystem. So within IFSC, what we have done is we have also allowed the tech companies which provide solution to financial industry globally to set up their companies. All the top 6, 7 leading tech companies are in GIFT City. We had organized the Talent Summit recently, And in that talent summit, these tech companies propose that they are going to bring a job of around 13,000, 14,000 people in near term, 2 to 3 years. That again, I think is a direct opportunity for ecosystem within the Baroda. Back to you, Ketki.
Thanks. So that helps from a institutional perspective. IFSC, which is the International Financial Services Center, as the word says, I can set up there only if I'm doing some sort of a financial service or a financial product. If I'm doing technology, which is technically not, say, financial service, still, as long as I'm doing a technology in the context of finance, I can still set up as a TechFin. I think in one of its kind, the IFSCA framework made that nice distinction between fintech and techfin. And techfins are equally contributing to the financial ecosystem. But having said that, what is it in for us individuals? And when I think of it, let's say if I'm not in the financial business and I don't have, say, global operations and hence probably don't need a treasury center, can I still use a gift ecosystem? And to answer that, the answer is yes. As an individual, I make multiple investments. I also make investments in global stocks. How do I do that? I do it through my currently available apps, right? But do I have an account on that app? No. There are multiple of these links which, through the app, connect me to a broker sitting abroad. The response to this was to ensure that there is a regulated global access to Indian individuals for subscribing to global stocks, investing their monies abroad in a regulated and a more efficient manner. What IFSCA permitted is a global access regime, and what the exchanges and other global access providers have now facilitated that for us to be able to access that right at our home ground. If you can help us with how your role has been on Gap, and tell me why should I invest via Gap versus the Indian wealth advisor? Are you seeing Indian wealth advisors, say Zerodha, Upstocks, all of them are also rushing into IFSC? Give us a little color on this, Bala.
Thanks, Ketki. I think this is something which is very important because I see a lot of individuals here, and Gujarat has a history of people investing a lot in the stock market, and obviously Baroda is one of the epicenters of that. And today, a lot of Indians are now globally aware. They want to invest in global stocks also. So now your answer straight away lies in Gift City. Today, NSE International Exchange itself has become the first global access provider. We have created a regulated service where NSE IX GA itself gives you an app on your phone. So you can all go to your app store or your Android Play Store. You can search for NSE IX space GA, and you will be able to get our global access app. This is our subsidiary company. And what we have tried to do is just like when we set up NSE in those days in the mid-90s, for a retail person to get access to a broking itself was very difficult. Getting access to an exchange was very difficult. What NSE did was created a technology way by which it could all be democratized, and today virtually at a very low cost, anybody could buy any stock in India, right? All the names of stock, including Bank of Baroda, HDFC, Infosys, TCS, or Reliance, or whatever, everything is now available on your fingertips. Now what we are trying to do is we are trying to bring the same revolution for you, that through this NSE IXGA app, you will be able to access any of the international stocks. To begin with, we have already started with the US market, which is probably the largest in the world, almost catering to almost 55% of the world's market cap. And effectively, you can start trading on it. And as she rightly said, this is a fully trusted, fully regulated kind of framework. And what we have done, interestingly, is that we have crashed the price. We are actually now allowing you to do this at a fraction of the cost, and all in a jiffy, and you can do it in a fractionalized mode. So for example, if you like SpaceX, and you want to just invest $100 in it, you can buy it. You don't have to buy the whole share. If you like Apple, you can buy it. If you watch Netflix, so if you want to buy Netflix share, you can buy it. This is completely available, and today, It will not take you even a minute. You just go to your Play Store, download NSE on the app. You can just create your account immediately. The KYC is done all automatic based on your DigiLocker access or other authentication. And then you can remit your money from your Indian, whichever bank you are, to NSE Global Access Bank in Gift City. And then immediately the money is available to you to trade on the markets. And you can yourself buy. In our app, you got research, you got whatever you normally see in a good app, you're able to get that. And this is something which we have kind of offered. And incidentally, we just offered it from March 26. And we already seen a massive intake for that. Almost more than 50,000 customer accounts are already opened with us. And secondly, to answer to Ketki, we are not only looking at a B2C model, we look at it as basically also a B2B model. We want all these broking firms, including domestic distribution firms, including mutual fund distributors, etc., they can also become our referral partners. And they can also activate, just like in the old days, there used to be a broker and a sub-broker, which today is called the authorized person. So these people can become our referral partners, and they can also refer their clients. Incidentally, as we speak, there are almost 20-25 Indian wealth firms which are tying up with us. Similarly, there are quite a few banks which also have their own wealth practices. They're also tying with this. Primarily what it means is that today we are in some sense democratizing the investment for a resident Indian to invest either in the local market or in the international market. And in the next 3 months, we should probably add another 30 markets. So effectively, you should be able to trade anything in US, anything in Latin America, anything in Europe, anything in Africa, anything in Asia. All of these markets are going to be available. So this is, in some sense, effectively giving you a complete access to buy anything, and this is something which every retail Indian can access up to the LRS limit or the liberalized remittance scheme limit of $250,000.
So if you're a wealth advisor, better learn on this. You could actually get your license in IFSC and offer this to your clients. If you are an investor, you could ask your wealth advisor who's managing your funds to get this entire knowledge, because the world is changing. All of these online brokers who offered you these products from your domestic presence will now offer it through gift. Not just is it regulatorily more sound, because it's a regulated space from a gift perspective, and every intermediary in between is also a regulated entity. But also, as Bala said, there are cost efficiencies built up. So a broker who would otherwise tie up with multiple channels, not get that volume-related efficiencies, the gap providers from IFSC will ensure that those volume-related efficiencies from a cost and timing perspective are also managed. Do you need to therefore be registered with IFSC to be an introducing broker? As an introducing broker, maybe yes, but that's if you are already in IFSC. But I could also still be a referral partner and have a referral arrangement with the gap provider and still do a B2B2C where I still get my client to be able to subscribe to these global stocks. Thanks for the platform and thanks for the efficiencies. I think
I'd just like to add one more point. Apart from stocks, you can always also invest into ETFs. So effectively, there is a lot of global demand for ETFs. In India, it's still coming up, but internationally, ETFs are a very popular way in which you can get access to a wide range of stocks. So for example, if you want to buy the Invesco QQQ, it will give you a complete access to all the NASDAQ tech companies, which means the entire tech sector could be just bought simply just through the ETF. And you can basically customize it for whatever amount you want. And just like you're doing systematic investing in India or the SIP, you can do something very similar through the global access. In fact, this can dovetail with your plans. For example, if you want to plan a international vacation, or if you have some goals, which is about getting your children to go and study abroad, or whatever, like you want to do a world tour or whatever, you can actually plan that you can save so much money by just doing this systematic investment. Again, all these are completely possible through these platforms.
Thanks, Bala. Since, everyone, and I think even Sharmaji kind of touched upon this issue on talent being one of the key things for us to have to drive the Gift City. A very quick question to all of you all. What kind of roles and skill sets are emerging now when you look at IFSC? And how do you think industry and academia could align to ensure that this is all complementary in a way where academia is able to produce the more relevant talent for the gift industry, and the gift industry is able to find a solution to the dearth of talent, say even at a freshers level, and with a tinge of AI coming in now?
So Ketki, I started in 2017 when I actually built the first exchange as a founder, India INX. I had to actually virtually bring everything from Bombay. It was basically just a lift and implement kind of a project. But today, for example, NSEIX, we have about 160 people working for us. 99% are non-Bombayites. Everybody is from the local talent. Of course, some people come from Bangalore, some come from other places, but we have basically individualized most of our talent. And what we have, and today, incidentally, anybody who works in NSE for 3 years automatically gets poached by the Gift City ecosystem. So we have probably now got almost 60, 70 people who are working within the gift ecosystem. And so we have actually cracked the problem. One of the things which we have done is we have actually got this internship program. So a lot of the captive universities and college ecosystem we have really gone into across different disciplines. So you have law universities, you have commerce, you have engineering, you have got various kind of courses. As an exchange, we need all these kind of resources. We have 3 verticals primarily, which one is the one which focuses on technology, again within technology, infrastructure. Again within technology, we have application development, and then again within technology, operations, and then we have cybersecurity. So these are the 4 things which we actually need. And obviously, AI as an element comes into all of these. Second vertical is primarily about the regulatory, compliance, and risk management. We need risk professionals. We need actually a lot of people who understand a regulatory world, who are all compliance driven, who come from company secretary, CA, these kind of backgrounds. Also, legal professionals. So we have a chief legal officer, we have a legal team, in-house legal team, which is again mandated. Obviously, we also rely on a lot of the legal counsels, but effectively we have all of these talent, which does most of the work for us. And the third one is basically the vertical 3, where we need people who do sales. Skills which are for business development, we need CFO, we need the entire finance and accounts, treasury, HR, administration, many other kind of functions, and company secretary, corporate secretary, and so on and so forth. So these are all the kind of skill sets which any typical organization will require. So we actually done a horses for courses approach as far as all these 3 are concerned. So we accordingly tap the right kind of talent, right kind of people. And at any point of time, we have almost close to about a captive of about 20 interns working with us. So that ensures that even if we have an attrition, once we train somebody 1 or 2 or 3 years, and after that they are ready to move to the industry, because anybody who leaves NSE today normally gets at least a 50% to 100% hike. So in some sense, NSE is a great entry-level job for people to get the brand. That's one. But broadly, in terms of talent, we are also attracted expats to come in. In fact, our business development in charge is a guy who spent 2 decades in Chicago and decided to come back. So there are a lot of international talented people who also want to work with us. We also set up a rep office in Dubai. So we are now actually looking at many more rep offices as we grow our markets. We will be definitely looking at attracting skills globally also. And not only us, because I also look at it that an exchange also includes its brokers, dealers, other community players. And today, in some sense, we do a lot of kind of capacity building programs, which we kind of do that. We also collaborate with various academic institutions. We have various MOUs with GNLU, the Gujarat National Law University. We have got with RRU. We have got with Nirma University, quite a few of them, which we are working with. And obviously with a lot of the MBA colleges. In fact, we do a lot of hiring from IIT as well as IIM in terms of some of the cutting edge kind of jobs. So we do use quite a diverse set of process to get the talent. And I can say one thing, with every passing year, I have seen talent acquisition problem in gift shrinking and shrinking. So I think it's no longer a problem. It's all about India itself is the big captive market for gift. It's not necessary that people have to be only coming from Gujarat. Just like in any metro, say Delhi, Mumbai, or Bangalore, or whatever, people come from different states, come and work. I think a similar aspiration is developing from gift also.
If I may add something to what Bala said, like in the gift is a specialized unit. It requires special skill set, of course, because syndication, treasury, trade finance, these are not the normal conventional like business that can be handled by like generalist. So as a bank, what we are doing, of course, we also started with a very small number of 5 or 6 people when we started operation. But because of our large overseas network, of late what we have started doing, that all those officers who are sent to overseas posting like New York, London, Dubai, Singapore, when they complete their tenure and come back to India, we are leveraging them and using their talent in gift ecosystem. So today, out of maybe 40 like expert professionals that we have in our office, almost like 35 could be all the repatriated officers. So that is one way of like leveraging the talent that we are getting from the overseas market. The other way to groom the future talent, what we are as a bank trying to do here, is we are positioning gift as our launching pad for the overseas posting. So today we are like posting the domestic people, some percentage of officers from the domestic operation. We are bringing them to gift city, giving them a training for 1 or 2 years, and making them ready for future overseas posting. So that way we are using this as a launch pad for the overseas posting also.
Thank you. See, in 2020, when I took this up, first product that we enabled was GCC. And in India, we will understand that I went from Gujarat and I went to Bangalore to market for GCC. And all those GCC said that you don't have talent. Then I'm ex-banker myself, so I went to Mumbai. At that time, we did not have many banks here. We had only 13 Indian banks. And among the 13 banks, total number of bankers was 40. So I went to Mumbai and asked them that foreign banks to establish here, went to Singapore. They said, you do not have talent in Gujarat. Our talent is not ready to move from Mumbai. Now we have come to a stage where we have almost 38 banks and we have 700 bankers. And we have 26,000 people in gift and 50% are tech. So I think talent is never a problem. I think core question is, what are the opportunities? First thing is, in India, talent is always hungry. Talent is always mobile. Where the differentiation comes is that if you want to give the same kind of job that you were doing in Singapore and Dubai, you're bringing it to gift, but you want to cut down on the cost to the extent that the talent doesn't move. That's your fault. So you need to get your cost right. Cost structure is right, people will stay there. But I think let me address this from the university perspective, because we also went to education department and we presented to them. And our proposal to them was very simple at that point in time, is that, see, I think if you look at gift from gift perspective itself, but otherwise too, the way the world is growing, the way the older talent is becoming very, very redundant, I think we need to plug in the industry into academia. Without that, you cannot have industry-ready talent coming out. So for which we encourage, there is an experiment done in Hyderabad, and when GCC were setting up there, 7 MNCs, they actually created a course curriculum, and they worked with the government, they plugged it into the GCC ecosystem, the talent university ecosystem, then they hired from them. It was a very successful project. I think the similar kind of thing can be replicated in Gujarat, where universities actually can plug into the industry in gift IFSC, create the curriculum which are required by those industries in gift, and lot of this talent, I'm sure, will also be consumed in centers like Mumbai, Bangalore, etc. You can become any which way. We have been exporting our talent to all over India. Our talent was always moving down south or up north. Now they are getting consumed here, but we need to plug in those courses. But what are those courses? How we should plan about it? I always said in gift you have a horizontals and then you have verticals. Our regulation, we talk about the PO, we talk about the CEO, compliance officer, risk officers. These are horizontals. Each and every company that are going to come, they will read this. So these talent, certainly I think all the universities plug in there. They can add a maybe module in their final semester, final year, and add those talent into that ecosystem. But then there are verticals, and within the vertical you need to look into aviation, you need to look into shipping, you need to look into the banking. Those vertical specialization you need to bring in back.
Thanks. And also to mention that GIFT actually housed the first ever standalone campus for a foreign higher education institution, with Deakin setting that up. So it is with IFSC that we allowed for foreign universities to come into India and set up their standalone campuses in order to ensure that we are able to plug in the industry and academia together in order to see that we could actually get talent which had international financial services experience and experience to cater to the gift ecosystem. And of course, talent is mobile. We know most of the large tech companies today are headed by Indians, and we would love to see more of that coming in into India. But to give you an example, we actually set up a semicon entity, helped set up a semicon entity in Gujarat, end to end. And in order to ensure that they also get this talent issue sorted, they did the exact same thing. Went to a university, got a course customized to their requirement, and although they may not have people available right up front, in due course, they'd start having people who they would need to employ. That works both from an industry as well as an academia purposes, and also from the talent which is being churned out. So we look forward to more of these initiatives. I think before we are all thrown out of this dais, I'll have a very quick question to each of you all.
We're actually running out of time because the event also started a little delayed. We were waiting for Honorable Chief Minister, so we have to really just, if we can have one line closing remarks and close it now.
Sure, sure. I think thanks a lot for a very patient audience, and it's quite overwhelming to have the entire room full. Thanks, and hope there is a lot to take away for each of you all from this room. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Once again, let's have a huge round of applause, everybody, for all our panelists over here and our moderator. We'll have one group picture with all of you before we say goodbye. Thank you again for sharing your thoughts, your insights on Gift City, how the developments are taking place and how the future looks like. Thank you for taking out time and traveling all the way to Baroda as well. We're going to now move into our next segment, which is exchange of MOUs over here. And before I invite our entities and the participants, I would humbly request our group CEO and MD, Shri Sanjay Kaulji, to please join us over here. In your presence, we would like to exchange our MOUs. Like he rightly mentioned, we also have our delegates from Vietnam who've also joined us, and I'll be inviting them one after the other. The first entity is with Vietnam Da Nang, the executive agency. I would like to invite our participants for the exchange. We have Mr. Dang Ding Duk, for the chairman, and from Gift Cities, we have Mr. Bharat Shivappa. The purpose of the MOU, ladies and gentlemen, is the exchange of knowledge, research, and the best practices on IFSC infrastructures, fintech, and the related activities at Gift City and VIFCDN. Can we have a huge round of applause as we begin with the exchange of MOUs towards the growth and development of Gift as well as Gujarat. We also have a small token of gratitude for our Managing Director and Group CEO, Shri Sanjay Kaulji. Thank you so much to the Executive Agency Vietnam Da Nang for the special memento. No problem. We'll have a group picture for a beautiful memory over here as we exchange the MOUs. Thank you once again to all the officials who joined us and traveled all the way from Vietnam. Thank you so much. Our next exchange is with the entity Tata Communications Limited, and I would like to invite Mr. Rajesh Pasif, the Vice President, and Mr. Avichal Khera to please join us over here for the exchange of MOU. The entity is Tata Communications Limited, and the whole purpose of this MOU is the marketing, branding, and the outreach to promote GIFT City as a preferred business and investment destination for GCCs and other related sectors. We welcome Mr. Rajesh and Mr. Avichal over here. Thank you so much, gentlemen over here. Our next entity is Collabra Technologies, and I would request Mr. Ranjit Doshi, the Global CFO, to please join us, along with Mr. Nisarg Acharya from GIFT, our AVP. And the whole purpose of this MOU is, I request Mr. Ranjit Joshi, our global, Mr. Ranjit Doshi, Mr. Doshi is present over here. Our global CFO to please join us over here. All right. All right, we have our global CFO, Mr. Ranjit Doshi over here, along with Mr. Nisarg Acharya. And the whole purpose is the GCC ecosystem development through talent, skilling, innovation, and industry collaboration. Congratulations. We move on to our next entity, which is CEPT University. I now invite Ms. Sejal Patel, the professor at CEPT, along with Mr. Avichal Khera to please join us over here. And the purpose of this MOU is collaboration in research, knowledge exchange, professional education, policy dialogues, and ecosystem development. Our next entity is Finansham Education Private Limited, and I would request Mr. Jayesh Vora, the director, and Mr. Jigar Shah, director, to please join us, along with Mr. Avichal Khera, representing GIFT City. The whole purpose of this MOU is the collaboration on financial education, research, innovation, AI, quantitative finance, and ecosystem development. Thank you so much, gentlemen. The next one is a handover of a letter of intent for the golf at Central Park. And the entity is Sports Gurukul. And I invite Mr. Jay Shah, the co-founder, along with Mr. Nisarg Acharya, to please join us. Thank you so much, gentlemen. Thank you, sir, for joining us. Yeah, I'll just close it now. All right. Thank you so much to all our delegates who joined us over here. As we come to the close of the regional summit over here, GIFT City is more than just a financial destination, I hope, and I'm sure all of us have realized that. It's a powerful symbol of India's global aspirations and Gujarat's commitment to innovation, investment, and inclusive economic growth. Thank you once again. This is your host, Lippy Goyal, signing off, and please have a good day. Thank you.